Frank's Diner, 508 58th Street, has been a Kenosha icon since 1926.
This classic establishment offers up sassy service with scrumptious breakfast and lunches.
Can you take on the garbage plate?
I don't know, but stop in at Frank's, open 7 days a week in downtown Kenosha.
Sarah and her staff at Wink Beauty Boutique offer great services to make you feel and look your absolute best.
Wink is located at 10909 Sheridan Road, above the Village Supper Club, and they provide lash treatments, body wax, facials, and more.
Hey guys, Sarah has some great gift certificates which will make your lady quiver with excitement.
That's Wink Beauty Boutique, 10909 Sheridan Road.
Hey you, if you're in the market to sell or buy a home, make your next move with Next Home Refined.
This local real estate brokerage specializes in humans over houses, focusing on the main part of the real estate transaction, the people.
Contact Minnie Samuel at 262-960-0468 or Minnie's, MINIS.smarthomeprice.com to start your real estate adventure.
That's Next Home Refined.
Kenosha is very lucky to have so many citizens who care enough about the community to try and make an effective impact. Here at Ktown Connects, our aim is to bring you their stories and hopefully expand their outreach of positive growth. Today, we talk to a man who exemplifies positive growth and effective impact when we connect with Alvin Owens. Hey, Donnie, cue that music.
Welcome to the Ktown Connects podcast, your connection to Kenosha. And I'm one of your hosts, Donnie, and I'm here with...
Hi, my name is Jason.
Hi, Jason.
How you doing there, Donnie?
Doing very well for this recording Monday.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but we're getting it done in the afternoon.
Yeah. We're kind of here at a different time. We had to take a lunch break a little early, and we're here... We got a great guest here today.
Yes, we do.
First, I'd like to take a moment to, we lost someone in our community over this past weekend. Jerry Gully passed away, way too young. He was a great community member, member of the Kenosha Public Market Board, member of many different organizations in our community, and he's sorely missed.
Yes, he is, and he really cared about the community.
Yeah, and he was a brightness in our community.
Yeah, he really was, and I say this, and whenever I would see him at the market, his smile would just boost me up.
Yeah.
It would just make me feel so warm and happy that we had somebody so special in our community. And Jerry, you will be missed.
And our condolences to all his family and close friends. But we're here talking to Alvin Owens. But first, where are we at, Donnie?
We are recording at Luigi's Pizza Kitchen, located at 7531 39th Avenue. They're open Tuesday through Sunday. Give them a call at 262-694-6565. You can also check out their full menu and order online at luigispizzakenosha.com. So order those pizza pies.
Oh, yeah. But give special thanks to Dropping Daisies for giving us that great theme song.
Yeah, what a great song
that is. Yeah, make sure you catch them out this summer.
That was a rocker.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Make sure you catch them this summer at all the festivals and things like that. They'll be around, I'm sure.
Also, follow the Ktown Connects podcast on all your social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And don't forget, drop us a review on Facebook or on your favorite podcast provider and help spread the word about the hottest podcast in town. And what podcast is that, Jason?
I believe that's the Ktown Connects podcast,
That is right. Number one, baby.
Oh, boy. And don't forget, you can also show your support for Ktown Connects by getting your very own Ktown Connects merchandise, courtesy of the Lettering Machine. They got t-shirts, sweatshirts, beanies, koozies, and more, all with our logo and some of it with our faces on it. You can find a quick link to that store at ktownconnects.com.
Would also like to give a special shout out to our good friend Kevin Irwin for being our Patreon supporter of the week. Thank you, Kevin, for joining the after party at patreon.com/KtownConnects. Kevin and all of our Patreon supporters get early access to each episode, bonus material, and get this, the critically acclaimed bonus show, It Is What It Is.
Wow.
Yeah, plus so much more.
Wow.
Subscriptions start as low as $2 a month.
Where can I find this quick link?
You can find that quick link at ktownconnects.com.
And we're also on Spectrum Channel 14 and the Kenosha Community Streaming Channel on your Roku. You can find our episodes air every Wednesday at 11 a.m. and Sundays at 5 p.m.
Look, Mom, I'm on TV.
That's getting old. Well, we're here with Alvin Owens. Thank you so much, Alvin, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come join us today.
Thank you.
I know we got to make this kind of a quick show because you have a train to catch.
Yes.
You're going back and forth between Kenosha and Chicago a lot.
Yes.
So in the metro, that's a long ride to Chicago.
Yeah, I even though I own a business here, I teach in the evenings in Illinois.
You are a busy guy, man.
I am.
When do you have time to sleep on the train, right?
I'm still trying to work that out with family.
So, Alvin, you grew up in Kenosha here. You grew up a Bradford student. What kind of kid were you back then?
Well, even before Bradford, it was Bullen Middle School. I always tell this story. I went to school at Bullen, and I remember on the last day I got suspended for doing something that I believe it was throwing the little, because it looked like glitter in the shop class when they had shop and wood classes. Yeah. And it looked like glitter, and a few of us decided to just sprinkle it in some of the girls' hair, but those were little metal filings.
Oh, no.
So I like to tell the story because I don't want anybody else to have to tell the story. When they see me as a community leader and like, he used to do,
Oh, yeah.
So I tell my own story the best. And so from there, I went to Washington Middle School that following year, but it wasn't because I got suspended. We had relocated. And so from there, then on to Bradford. And I loved growing up in Kenosha. All of my brothers and sisters, with the exception of me, went through the KUSD. All the ones that are younger than me, and that's 7 of us in one household, went through KUSD. Mm-hmm. So we're Kenosha kids. We grew up here, and it's a small city. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of ups and downs, ebbs and flows. I'll use those words. We're going to keep it positive.
There you go.
But having an African American family here in Kenosha, although challenging, what was supportive was that we're one of the, if not the largest African American family in town.
Oh, wow.
The Brantley Owens family. And it's a lot of last names associated with that. Okay. And so, having that support, it was almost like having your own little mini town within a small town.
Oh,
yeah, there
cool.
You go.
Cool.
Yeah. Your own little group, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was your first job?
Oh, God. I think it was at Walgreens. I'm in the hair industry. I grew up in it. My mother's Chicago, divorced parents, mother's Chicago, father Kenosha. So that's where you get me and the Metro train all my life back and forth. So I'm used to it.
Every little stop.
Yeah. So if I didn't get fired from her shop, on the weekends, my first job here was actually when I came back. I mean, when we were teenagers, I remember, do they even have the work permits anymore for young people?
I don't know. Yeah,
remember that was like the thing.
Yeah,
when you were a teenager,
you had to go get that
you were like,
work
I can't wait to get the permit. Yeah. And I hope they're still doing that for children.
Yeah.
I think they are. I think
they need to.
Right.
Right. And so I just remember doing those odd jobs. I think it was probably the Park District or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you grew up, you went on to Columbia College.
Yeah.
You were looking at music and communications. What kind of career were you kind of going for at the time?
Well, so my grades at KUSD and in the Chicago public schools, I could sing a song as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So remember F, I did sing that letter, but I had a very creative transcripts, you would say, growing up, academically. I wasn't the kid that America would say is on the path to go to college.
Yeah.
But my mom says you have to choose something, work or go to college, or same thing with my father. They just wanted something for me to do.
Yeah.
And I said, my friends was telling me I was in the talent shows. I was in all the popular stuff in school.
Okay.
But as far as academics, I wasn't so popular. So I chose Columbia College, not knowing how powerful at that time of arts, a liberal arts college it was. It had already won Grammys and Tonys, the alumni.
Yeah.
And so I just went because it was an open, you could go there because it was open academics, meaning that you didn't need a grade point average.
Okay.
So I was a shoe-in.
All right. Yeah.
I wish I would have known about this.
My grade point average was so low. So, I skated through school, made it out, and I took my time there. I didn't do the traditional 4 years, you go to college and that's it. I literally took my time. I probably was there 6 years. Sometimes I was part-time, sometimes I was full-time. And it gave me an opportunity to find myself. And it actually was the first time where I learned about internship and apprenticeship. And I was an internship for extra credit, of course, because I needed it.
Yeah.
And it was at Young Life program in Chicago. And they said, hey, we want you to intern and you're going to go on a college tour with us. And I went on my first historically Black college tour while I was in college.
Okay.
And I was furious with Bradford. I was furious with Lakeview High School and Bradford, Chicago, went to both. Yeah. And I said, nobody told me about these schools. I mean, I heard about them, but it was like far to me in my mind.
Right. You knew somebody needed to explain it to you.
And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. And I'll tell you how that connects to what I do now with the Education Youth Program.
Yeah, you kind of hopped around a little bit. You were in New York for some time.
Yeah, I hopped around. I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
I was in New York for doing public relations. So I started off with art at Columbia College. Wow. Realized how boring that was when they were talking about painting strokes. I changed to music and communications, and then it became communications, public relations. Okay. One thing I know how to do is talk. So that was the field for me. And I should have paid more attention in high school and I would have been prepared. So I can't really blame the schools. They probably offered it. I wasn't paying attention.
Listening,
I was running for prom or something.
Why'd you drop the music?
I didn't drop the music.
Okay.
It's so funny because when you go into music, I think everybody think that you're going to be we all think we're going to be the next Michael Jackson or something. But I didn't realize that music was a part of every aspect that I was in. So with my program that I have now, we have we have musical elements. I use it for comedy now. I don't sing professionally, but I ended up, when I was working with KUSD, I ended up writing a national song for this company that took around buses and they landed it at your school and the students painted on it. It was in the newspaper here in Kenosha. We had Bullen students and then we got all the middle school students to write peaceful things on the bus. And I wrote this song called The Bus Song. And I did that at University of Connecticut, at one of their institutes, and programs. And I wrote a national song. So I'm an accomplished artist.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm not a Broadway star, but I've published music.
That's awesome. Can you give us a little of it?
No, I don't. In one of your evening sessions, I'll come back.
So in your late 20s, you decided to come back to Kenosha. What brought you back here?
It was so funny. After doing New York and doing public relations, I met a lot of celebrities and I just
name drop.
I actually met the late Aaliyah.
Oh, wow.
I met P. Diddy. If the Kenosha land knows all his nicknames, Sean Puffy Combs. I met Jermaine Dupri. A lot of different celebrities, actors and actresses.
Oh, cool.
My aunt wanted me to go more into the arts, but after spending the entire day on the George Clooney movie as an extra, I didn't know that you spend the entire day and you get like $200.
Right. But you got a free lunch, right?
You get basically, and I was like, nah, I can't like the whole day. And so I realized that acting bug like that wasn't for me that I thought. So I did a few extras in New York, but when
What George Clooney movie?
It was One Fine Day.
Oh, okay.
Him and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yep.
And I spoke to both of them.
Oh.
Yeah. There were no cell phones back then. Well, there was. I did have one. It was bigger than this.
Bigger than that water
But it
bottle.
wasn't like you could take a picture.
Right.
Yeah.
So there were that wasn't that. I would have had to have a Polaroid for that.
For sure.
But when I came back, I said, I wanted a redo, and I didn't plan on coming back home to Kenosha. I was going to just go back to Chicago and find a job in PR. And, but while I was looking for a job in PR in Chicago, my brother said, hey, if you come to Kenosha Unified School District, they're hiring people especially African-American men, because they had that initiative of recruiting more, what Kenosha would call minorities, more African-American and Latino people to employment. And so I filled it out on a whim. Yeah. And guess who called? Bullen. Yeah. And I said, oh, they're not going to hire me because I did that thing with the glitter. I literally thought that. And I thought it was all connected. You know, I just knew.
Your permanent record.
Right. I thought my permanent record. And they hired me. And my sister was, I believe she's at Washington or going over to Bradford. And she said she wanted to get her friends to go to on the college tour, the ones that I did in New York, the ones that I did in Chicago when I was with that program I told you about earlier, Young Life. And I said, okay. And my first thing telling her was, Kenosha. All of us who's from Kenosha, we call it Kenowhere. I was like, Kenowhere is not gonna, they ain't interested in going to see historically Black colleges and universities because of stigmas. Yeah. And so I told her, well, get a couple of your friends, myself and my other brother, Alvin Owens. He's the other Mr. Owens in Kenosha. And I said, we'll just get a van and some teenagers, some chaperones, and we'll just, maybe 13 of us, we'll go see some schools. And lo and behold, she brought back a list of about 40 students. Wow. And I was like, oh, it's going to dwindle down. So I said, we'll have a meeting with whoever shows up. Parents, students all showed up, and we packed the first bus of the college tour was packed with 47 people. Wow. Yeah. And we visited those schools, and we cried on the last day we created a new tradition on the last day after visiting colleges and universities in the South. Cause you just hear historically Black colleges, but you don't realize that some of these were former slave plantation areas. Oh, wow. And the historical significance is America's secret, but it is so much beauty and love and triumph when you go see these schools and how they were turned from something that was very harsh, a reality in the South, to now these award-winning Ivy League institutions. Yeah. That it seems like the world doesn't know about. Right. And they're beautiful. And the students and when you're here as an African American in Kenosha, you're considered the minority, but there's no minorityville. That's just a word. The word minority is a mathematical equation. So I told the Bullen and Bradford students and Washington students who all went on that first one, I say, you're not allowed to use the word minority to go on the college tour. You have to use brother and sister. Oh, that's and that whole week, it was brother and sister. And we're traveling, we're learning. It wasn't just an educational trip. It was a cultural trip. Yeah. And they got to see themselves as the majority. And it just did something. So on the last day of each tour, and we've been doing this, next year will be our 25th. Wow. So you're getting an exclusive today. 25 years, I'm getting old. Kenosha, we need volunteers. Yeah. So on the last day we visit Dr. Martin Luther King's tomb, and he's inside that tomb, him and his wife Coretta Scott King, and we just share. We call it the reflection moment and the tears. 24 years. And the tears still flow after a week of traveling. And we did figure out that the chaperones, the reason why we're crying is because we're tired after a
week of. I'm sure this is a great trip for these kids. Some of these kids never get out anywhere, and now they're getting around. They're getting a dose of culture, like throughout the America. And I'm sure it's eye opening for many of them. Yes. So, and then when you hear the success stories of when they actually go on to college and things like that, that must be. And
you guys know many of their names. They're doing big things in the city of Kenosha.
Good. Wonderful. Yeah.
Were you surprised by the turnout with the 47? What were you expecting?
I thought we were going to be on a van. You grew up here and there's we all, go to school together. And when we become adults, unfortunately, some of our communities are two worlds apart. And so obviously something happens in the household or what's being taught in the household. And we're just, unfortunately, not all, but unfortunately, there's still some major things that we need to work on in Kenosha's community. That is so true. And we have to heal. And one big one was the civil unrest that happened recently. And when you get, and I'm making up a name, this isn't anybody's name, but if you get Miss Polly, saying derogatory remarks in the Kenosha comment section. I don't even go there anymore because you're like, wait a minute, I eat your food at your restaurant. I shop at your flower shop. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I said, I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying we know who you are. Mm-hmm. We see your names on buildings, and our kids play with your kids, and we play with you, you know, and it's how did that happens. And I'm not saying that's the epitome of Kenosha, but that is one part that as Kenoshans we have to work on.
I agree.
We have to continue to work on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to another question I had here. You said in the past that Kenosha needs a better understanding of inclusivity. Mm-hmm. Can you say what that means to you?
So, growing up here, you feel automatically that and I can only speak for myself, and with others who have shared the similar story. We know we're here. We know we're all a part of Kenosha, but then there's two cities within one city. Mm-hmm. And it's very black and white, and sometimes that's not color. Yeah. It's the have and the have nots. It's, sometimes it is racial. So it's just on different levels. And, sometimes when you grow up here, I could give a good example. Some parents don't feel like the school board is for them. Going to a school board meeting, let me correct that, going to a school board meeting, because they don't feel heard. So I'm using that as one example. Okay. Or going to a county board meeting or a city town hall meeting because they feel they haven't been heard for years. Mm-hmm. So if you have children that's growing up like that and they become parents, they're not passing that down to say, think outside of the box. They're feeling alienated upon alienation. And it festers. And so then you have groups, with some of the groups that I meet with, within my own community. I say, hey, let's do this. How about we try this? We've heard of all the different things that, unfortunately, we didn't feel included, or our parents didn't feel included at the time. I was blessed with a father who was very active in the community. Yeah. Alvin Samuel Owens, and my mother, Margie Brantley Owens, they were involved and they've given back to the community, but not everybody feels that way, So what happens? And we have to continue, even right now in 2022, I opened up the barbershop and I was doing volunteer efforts to let's get our city back together after during the civil unrest. Mm-hmm. I think people even took some of that the wrong way. Like we're getting involved to help bridge the gap, and you're making it seem like we've chosen a side. There is no side when there's civil unrest. It's either right or wrong, and so we have to move forward as a community, and it gets blurred. And so sometimes when you're not the majority, you feel left out. And there are times as a kid, I felt left out and I didn't know how to articulate that. There's more diversity in school now than it was when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. 7th grade in Bullen, I was the only African-American male in my class. I didn't see my friends until lunch period who looked like me. Yeah. And I had, other friends, some of the Perinis that I went to school with, the Montefiglios and a lot of the other popular names here in town. I went to school with them, along with my siblings. But, you didn't see yourself until lunch period or after school. Yeah. And then we went back to our own areas of town. So then it's like it becomes separate again. And then we come together and we're all at the Bradford versus Trimper rivalry game and we're all in unison. And then you go back, you separate it. Yep. And so that's layered. You can't answer that in just, one thing, but it's been that way for a lot of minority groups for years.
So how can like Donnie or myself or like our average listener, how can we do something to help bridge that gap between the haves and the have-nots?
Woo!
Is there an answer to that?
Lately I've been talking about coffee, and maybe because we have Deshaun who just opened up the pop-up coffee shop at Regiment.
Great.
Thank you, Regimen Barber
That
Collective.
Strawberry cream drink. Oh,
you see?
Oh, it's so good.
And so I always say that good things happens with a slow brew. Mm-hmm. A good cup of coffee, even though we love Keurig because we want it fast, but a good cup of coffee it comes from a slow brew. And I think that we have to work at it. We have to, it's not going to happen overnight. And I had to reconcile, and I think I've been dealing with some anxiety with this, understanding this and studying more and more about civil rights, leaders. That when that anxiety sets in, you have to have to come to some type of resolve. And I know, getting emotional talking about it now, I know that I may not see the results of my labor.
Yeah.
But knowing that it's going to affect others years later, they may not even remember my name if no one tells them. But the work that I put in, or any one of us put in, we have to at some point realize that we may not ever see the change. Yes, I saw a black president. That was shocking, and that was a step, but, as far as representation, within our own Kenosha community, I had to say, wow, I may not ever I'll see some great moments, but I may not ever see that big shift that I'm desiring to see. And you get emotional about that. You get anxiety from that. There's a heaviness that comes along with that. And so I stay studying all different types of community leaders. I actually now get offended, and I don't care what color they are, but I get offended when people say that we shouldn't have followed Malcolm's path or Marcus Garvey or Harriet Tubman. These people are gone.
Yeah.
We can only look at their entire life totality and get and look at that blueprint as a blueprint, and we take out what we can in order to move forward.
And they lived in a different time as well.
And they lived in a different time. How dare we say what they should or shouldn't have done?
Yeah.
And that's lack of education and knowledge. There's one thing I want Kenosha specifically to know, and hopefully if we get it right here in Kenosha, because we're the epitome of America. I mean, we're the whole Mayberry of America. Kenosha is. And so we match our numbers to the numbers of America with how many minorities we have in our city, the growth potential, finance, empowerment, leadership matches similarly, off by maybe 1% or 0.5% in the same numbers of American leadership, empowerment, financials, housing, and things like that. So here in Kenosha, I want us to know, if we don't, if you're the majority and you say that you're about, and I don't care what political aisle you sit on, and you say, and I hope people listen to this, and you say that you're here for everybody, for all Kenoshans, or all life that matters. You say that, but you don't know anything about me. Meaning you don't know an author written by people that look like me. You don't know about a mathematician who helped get us into space that looks like me. You can't name it. You only know the athletes and maybe some entertainers, but you don't know the writers, you don't know anything about me. You don't know my languages, but yet I could sit up and talk about Kenoshans who helped found the city. Cause we're taught that. I could talk about, all the great businesses from every ethnicity, but you don't know my businesses. You don't know. No, I don't think our majority community, and we could say this on Ktown Connects, our white large majority community don't know how many black businesses we have. There was over 40 that had their goods out for all of Kenosha for Juneteenth. And you didn't know that we have 40 black businesses. And they need that same love and attention.
100%.
That everybody else gets. And we only have one day. We don't have the whole market for the summer. Just that one day to say, hey, Kenosha, here we are. So when you say that, you're here for everybody, but you don't see us. And that's because we're not taught in school. You don't know anything about us. And that's not critical race theory. That is just normal education. So I think that Kenosha needs to see its African-American community. In order for it to be a great community, you need to understand and see our community and stop stigmatizing it, and of what you see on maybe some cable news channels. That isn't who we are. We are a great people. We have overcome everything, and sometimes without any mental therapy. So
okay, well, you can find any information about his the the college tour at beyondcollege.net.
Yes.
If you're looking for volunteers for that for next year, go on there. If you want to get your child involved, you can go on there and find some information about it. But we'll have that link in our show notes.
Yep.
And we're going to take our first break right now. We'll be right back with more with Alvin Owens.
Are you suffering from pain, migraines, PTSD, anxiety, grief, or stress?
Well, visit our friend Laura Cox of Acupuncture and Wellness of Wisconsin, 3917 47th Avenue for excellent care in the form of natural, functional, and traditional Chinese medicine.
Visit ACUWELLWI.com so you can
Live well, choose well, and be well.
Yee-hoo!
Mosey on down to the Downtowner Saloon, 707 56th Street for mouth-watering Southwestern foods.
Including their amazing brisket, flavorful original rubs, and the gall-darn hot tootin'est smokin'est meats in town.
Enjoy a meal or just stop in for one of their delicious specialty drinks at the Downtowner Saloon, 707 56th Street.
Yee-hoo! LaMacchia Travel, 618 55th Street, has served Kenosha for over 90 years.
And with their rich history, you can expect the best in customer service and care to ensure that your next vacation will be one to remember for all the best reasons.
Stop in their office or visit their website, LaMacchiaTravel.com, to plan your next big getaway.
I'm out of here.
And we're back from that break.
And Jason, what a break it was.
All right. We're here with Alvin Owens. He's the owner of Regimen Barber Collective. They're located at 1345 52nd Street. It says they're open Tuesday through Saturday. Is that correct, Alvin?
Yes.
All right.
We take appointments Sunday and Monday, but appointments only.
Okay.
But walk-ins Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. So while we're at it, so you came back to Kenosha, and you're kind of doing both here. What got you started with the Barber Collective?
So, I feel like I've always came in and out of town. So afterwards, when I went back to Kenosha, went back to Chicago, and I worked there for many years. When I was looking for a barbershop to open in Chicago, I'm looking all over the city, places that I don't normally hang out in on certain sides of town. I was like, I want to do something that's a part of me. Out of Kenosha's college tour, we started the Chicago branch college tour.
Oh, cool.
So we service Racine, Kenosha, Chicago, and that started in little old nowhere. But I'm trying to sound like you. Gotta love our place. But I was looking for a spot, and I was at Shonda Locks, who has a salon next to my shop. She says, "Hey, there's a spot here in Kenosha." And I was like, I don't know. I do the college tour there. I'm back and forth a lot. So I was like, I don't know. It'll be like me moving right back to Kenosha again. And it seems like every time I move back to Kenosha, there's a impact that I bring.
Yeah.
So I looked at the space, and it's across the street from the Boys and Girls Club. The building is over 100 years old.
Wow.
And so I saw that ceiling. And I saw the hardwood floors that was original to the building.
Yeah.
Think about barbershop, old aesthetics.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's beautiful
And I was
in there,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, this is it. And it had this little spot, what caused me to say I want it. Cause I was going there to say, oh, I'm going to go look at it, but I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I went with the intention to say no. And maybe I think I wanted to just look at it so I could refer it to some of the other business owners we were building the community of leaders within my community. And I was like, I'll just go there and check it out for somebody else. That was my intent.
But you fell in love.
I fell in love with it. And it had this little room, and I was showing my family and a few friends, and they said, you could have your own studio because you travel back and forth, and the other barbers could be out here. And I said, nah, I'm more into the community. I'm going to be amongst my barbers. But when I saw that little room, I was just thinking of a home for education youth, which you can find on beyondcollege.net. And, cause we never really had we've been inside the Boys and Girls Club before, the old building. We've been inside of KUSD, having a space, but I wanted a unique space that was going to be for the community. So now we have books in there. People could go in there, and we have the pop-up, the BLAK Coffee pop-up in there.
Yep.
he has some good news coming soon. I'm not going to reveal, so I'll let you get in contact with him with that. But,
we were supposed to have him on a few weeks ago, but he kind of flaked out on us a little bit. He's kind of got nervous, I think, a little bit. We're trying to get him on
again. We're going to reschedule him.
Okay.
So you can kind of tell him it's not so bad. We're not
okay. So definitely, we have different community meetings in there. People are welcome to come in there to get a haircut and do homework or do work from your job in there. If you're looking to look for a job, we have some donated computers. We continue to take in donations for computers. It doesn't have to be money or anything like that, but it's for the community. Okay. We have Dr. Cheryl Underwood. She brings in during COVID, she was bringing in a lot of health resources and goodie bags for families. Mm-hmm. So we still have hundreds of bags to pass out to the community.
Okay. Like bags of?
Like hand sanitizers, masks, things like that. Okay. Cleaning supplies, so just household essentials. Okay. So, it's a community resource. We're a barbershop, but it's a community resource.
I love that.
Inside there. Yeah.
And a coffee shop.
And the coffee shop. You can never go wrong with a good cup of coffee.
And then coming up on Saturday, June 18th, you have the Juneteenth celebration going on there.
Yes.
I remember last year I drove by and saw it. It looked incredible. I didn't really know what was going on, so I didn't stop by. But can you tell us about what's going on there?
Well, Dear Kenosha is for everybody. Yeah. It's open to the public. Yeah, okay. And people thought it was only on that lawn part that you saw, but it's actually from 53rd all the way down to the Metro train. Wow. So that's 3.5 blocks of vendors, of entertainment, a main stage, music. We're going to have awards this year. We had awards last year. It was community awards, but now we're going to have a formal awards, Mr. and Miss Juneteenth pageant, car show. We're going to have the 3-on-3 tournament, in honor of Noel Spears. And we're going to, and that's going to be at the Boys and Girls Club. So they're going to be a great part of it as well. So it's just across the street. Yeah. A lot of county resources, a lot of resources will be there for families. Again, it's open to the public. Anybody is invited. It's not these people or that people. It's for all Kenoshans. For everybody, yeah. For everybody. And the one thing I really want to share with Kenosha, because usually Juneteenth was known to be in Lincoln Park. And we're not taking it away from Lincoln Park. We definitely want to bring it back in Lincoln Park full force, but we wanted to do something, we want to reimagine Juneteenth and what it would look like as far as with our friends at the harbor markets, all the different markets that Kenosha have. Yeah. And we said, let's do it on something like that. So we created the Black Wall Street to pay homage to the Tulsa, Black Wall Street. And so we did it in honor of that, and it was so successful that we're going to bring it back. And that is finally where Kenosha, I really want you guys to come out, not only patronize these businesses, but actually meet them. Meet these business owners and invite them into your spaces. Some of them have actual brick and mortar businesses, and some of them are mobile, and some of them are online, but you actually get to meet other great Kenoshans who are about Kenosha. Yep. And they're there to present their best selves and their best business, but they want to get to know you. They don't just go by and say, oh, I want to buy this or buy that, or, get some good barbecue. One of the restaurants of Caribbean foods. We're going to have Angela Caribbean there. And so, you're going to get all, like I said, woo, he's the animated one. Right. Yeah. But we want the city of Kenosha to actually come out and bump elbows, and conversate with people. These great people. And what we have to realize with, no matter if you're black or white or brown, in Kenosha, we have to realize our city is home to a lot of transplant people. These people there are some people who are not a part of the anchor families of Kenosha. And so they're just here for several years, because of the job. They got the job at one of the plants or something like that. Back in the day, we grew up, there was the Chrysler. Yeah. Before that was American Motors and, and Jeep. And that's gone. But now all these new plants, people are coming here. They're here for a few years. Their children go to KUSD or some of the private schools. And then they're gone in 6 or 7 years. So they're not really anchor families. And there's a lot of families who are here that we want to be the new anchor families of Kenosha. Stick around because this city is great. When we are good, we are good. You know, and when we're bad, we're gonna pray. And so Maya Angelou said Oprah asked her, how do you feel about the war? When she was on the show, and she said, America, when we're good, we celebrate. And she celebrates, she honors America. And when we're questionable, she's active. And so that's my belief for Kenosha. When things are going awry or we're looking at division, become active, get involved. And I'm asking Kenosha to come out and get to know your neighbors that you probably don't know and don't know what their interests are and things are. So that's what it's all about. Coming out and meeting the people on Black Wall Street, a lot of entertainment, a lot of joyous. We're going to have a moment of silence this year in honor of the people who we lost to COVID and other things. Some icons that came out of our community that we've all seen in the newspaper. Some of them have gone, and we want to recognize them and their contributions to Kenosha. So, we're going to do that. So it's a good reason for you to come by, stop by. No one's saying you have to pick any other market. No, you can actually come by, have a great time, and go to other markets.
Get them all,
just have a whole day of just going around the town and city and playing your day and have a great day in Kenosha.
So for parking, can people park at the Boys and Girls Club and then walk over there across the street?
People park at the Boys and Girls Club. We do have security that's going to be walking around because you can park on 14th, aligned on the Boys and Girls Club in the parking lot. So there's areas for you to get around, or keep your car at home and do what you do when you we're the gateway to downtown, right by that viaduct. 52nd divides, is the divider of all of Kenosha. So just like you do for the 4th of July fireworks, everybody walks down to the pier. So walk on down
hop on your bicycle, get on down.
Exactly, get on your bicycle.
Just a couple blocks from the other market down there. So
on a good day you can walk through Kenosha. So get your gym shoes on and come out and dance with us.
So that's Saturday, June 18th. It's from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes.
And that's located just east of the Regimen Barber Collective on 52nd Street and 13th Court.
Yes.
And this time I'm not going to drive by. I'm going to stop.
Yes,
please do. I'm going to stop and see you.
Yes.
So it sounds like a great time.
We'll see everybody there.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And that's going to lead us to our second break. And we'll be right back to wrap things up with Alvin Owens.
Every Friday, get on down to Union Park Tavern, 4520 8th Avenue, for their famous fish fry, voted best in Kenosha for the last decade.
But that's not all. Union Park Tavern serves up great food every day, including their 9 a.m. weekend brunches.
And if you enjoy live music like we do, they got you covered there as well. Live music every Friday and Saturday night.
Be sure to check out that beer garden. That's Union Park Tavern, 4520 8th Avenue. Honk honk.
Looking for a new car?
Well, stop on by CarBox, 1750 22nd Avenue.
Scott and his team will put you in the car of your dreams. They offer great vehicles for all family types.
Honk honk. They have the deals you want and need.
Visit CarBox, 1750 22nd Avenue. Honk honk.
And we're back here with Alvin Owens.
And it's time for Kenosha Connects.
That's right. And Kenosha Connects is brought to you by a rival place, or Faded Barbershop for Men.
They're actually in my network.
Okay.
So we have the Kenosha Hair Group, and they're in my network.
Yes,
so those are my sisters.
Yep.
Bo and Trish are great.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
So, wow, Donnie, your hair is looking great.
Thanks. I got it cut from Boda at Faded Barbershop for Men, located at 2227 63rd Street.
They offer many different services, including shaves, waxing, and the good old-fashioned haircut.
Follow their Facebook page and schedule your next hair-raising experience. That's Faded Barbershop for Men. All right, you ready, Alvin, for some Kenosha Connects questions?
Yes.
All right, where in Kenosha would you recommend someone going on a first date?
Oh, that's easy. The pier.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, and now that we have right next to Common Grounds, kind of like that flagpole area, that's breathtaking that
really
during the
is.
day and at night, and you could take pictures. So I would say, the pier.
I like that.
Who is your favorite famous Kenosian?
I'm going to choose someone deceased.
That's fine.
So I won't get in trouble with those who are alive. Who's going to donate money for the college tour? One of my favorites, that is so hard, but one of them would be hands down, the late Reverend Arrington.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, with Mr. and Miss Mahone, and of course Thelma Orr and Thompson, they all have impacted my life greatly. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I knew you were going to have a good answer for that.
All right, favorite pizza place in Kenosha? This one's going to get you in
Or you can
trouble.
say your favorite one this week,
Yeah,
because
this
we know
week.
it changes.
That y'all are trying to get people in trouble. So I believe it was Infacino's that we all grew up on inside the school, or the fundraisers with
Yep.
Infacino's. So I would say, oh goodness,
There's so many good ones, you know.
there's
It's
so
hard.
many good ones. What's what's the one down here on 22nd Street down?
Durangos?
Durangos. I like Durango. So I won't say who's my favorite. I'll say my
What you
favorite like. So I like the Durangos sausage pizza.
Ooh.
Yeah. And thin crust. I actually like the thin crust.
yeah.
And I'm a Chicagoan too.
Right.
So I'm biracial. I'm half
Yep.
Kenosha, half Chicago. And so I'm Mr. It has to be a cake for me to
Okay.
eat pizza, but Durango's thin slice is good. But Kenosha, we have the best pizza places around.
There we go.
Safe
And
answer.
there's room for both deep dish and thin crust
Yes,
in the world.
yes.
There's the pizza's pizza. It's just delicious. So, all right. Which now closed Kenosha business do you wish you could bring back?
Oh, wow. Wow. You know, it's funny what I'm about to say, but I don't know if it was a health hazard, and we don't want it in the same location, obviously, because I know that's going to be new development. But the Chrysler plant, it employed a lot of people, and I think KUSD was second in employing a lot of people in the city. As far as the county, now you have a lot of factories, and that's employing. So I would say, big business, that old fashioned, I don't know about the environment, if Chrysler was good to the environment, but I would say for that reason, a lot of people were unemployed for a while after that. And we lost a lot of people who moved to other cities. But as far as small businesses, oh, wow, there are so many. I mean, from childhood to now, goodness, I would have to think on that one. I mean, there were some great businesses we had. Yeah.
All right, who do you think should be our next mayor?
I'm going to go for Brandon Morris.
Oh, very nice choice.
Yeah, I think Brandon Morris, he's a Kenosha kid out of Lincoln Park. His come up, he's humble. I think the word of him and many students. And then my other one would be this woman. She literally, so I'm going to pick a male and a female.
All right.
This woman is Miss Organizer to T. Like, she keeps me in line and with a lot of things. And I would say Dr. Dominique Pritchett.
Oh, okay.
She would have Kenosha organized. I mean, it would be organized persona.
Well, I like where you're going, because I remember one of our past guests, I remember who it was, they said they wanted someone that wasn't a politician, someone that's more of a community leader, community organizer.
Yeah,
I think
both of
that's a
them,
great idea. Yeah. And then our final one, Big Star or The Spot?
Oh, no, you're not. So, so I'm going to pick a side based upon who I'm repping. But now I'm on this side. My shop is, and my new residence is on this side of town, is South Side. But I grew up on the North Side, on all places on the North Side. Oh, goodness.
I mean, there's room for both, but if I say we're going to lunch right now, where are we going? Big Star or The Spot right
The
now?
onion rings over on the North Side,
At Big Star?
Big Star is so good. You know?
Yeah.
So we're going to go today.
There you go.
We're going to go with Big Star.
And then next we go to The Spot.
All right.
All right.
That's it?
That's it. All right. So that was the Kenosha Connects, and that was brought to you by Faded Barbershop for Men. Ding, ding, ding. What time is it?
It's trivia time.
Oh, my goodness. And trivia is brought to you by Lucci's Grandview. Hey, Jason, you thirsty?
Yeah.
Well, get on down to Lucci's Grandview, 6929 39th Avenue, and grab yourself an ice-cold drink and have some good conversation. This family-owned bar will serve you some great memories and some great drinks. So follow them on Facebook and see all their upcoming specials and events. That's Lucci's Grandview, 6929 39th Avenue. Hi, Sarah and AJ.
All right, so it's time for trivia where we put our knowledge of Donnie against our guest. And, of course, we have to do barber trivia here today. So I got these answers from Encyclopedia of Trivia. So we're going to see it's a best of 3 questions for each of you. We're going to start with Donnie so you kind of get an idea how we're doing. This is multiple choice. So, Donnie, you do have a chance.
Hold on, I'm going to be texting Boda and Trish at Faded Barbershop for the answers.
All right, first one, this is a little off the wall. I'm going to start you off with, Donnie.
Right.
Which star of the FX sitcom It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is also a qualified hairdresser? Is it Charlie Day, Caitlin Olsen, or Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito.
You're right.
Oh, that was a guess.
He's a hairdresser. Who knew?
I would think he would be the one who wouldn't be.
All right, Alvin, your first one.
Sure.
The word barber is derived from a Latin word meaning...
Barbe.
Well, what?
Oh, meaning beard.
Yeah, you didn't even need the
Yeah, I'm not just a barber, I'm a barber educator.
All right. We got it tied up. All right, Donnie.
All right.
From the Wacky Law Files, in Waterloo, Nebraska, what are barbers not allowed to do between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m.? Is it A, sweep the floor of their barbershop, B, cut the hair of any immediate family members, or C, eat onions?
Eat onions?
Yeah.
Why are you giving me these easy ones?
Was that easy? I didn't know.
Because you said 7 a.m.?
Between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., they're allowed to eat onions in Waterloo, Nebraska for some reason.
Well, you don't want to smell a certain way over the customer.
But garlic's okay. All right, Alvin, here we go. Number 2 for you. Another one from the Wacky Law Files. In Elkhart, Indiana, it is illegal for a barber to do what? A, dye hair an unnatural color. B, threaten to cut off a child's ears. Or C, use an electric razor to shave a beard.
Oh, it has to be A or C. It isn't? It's B?
It's B.
Well, you did say wacky, and I got clinical.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't threaten to cut off a child's ears in Elkhart, Indiana.
Wow.
I got to visit that place.
I guess. All right, Donnie, last one for you.
All right.
In what country did the red and white spiral barber pole originate? Rome, Great Britain, or the United States?
Great Britain?
Wow.
Oh, that was a guess.
You are right.
Wow.
Whoa. Donnie.
I have to challenge that.
All right.
Oh.
Well, you said red and white.
Yes.
Okay, because red, white, and blue is America.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the red and white, I guess the red meant surgery and the white meant...
Red means blood, white means sanitary, and blue means veins, because we used to be bloodletters. And bloodletting. And the silver caps at the top and the bottom are bowls that you drip the blood into. So the white Band-Aids, after you purify the blood, you wipe the white Band-Aid around the arm.
Wow.
Okay. Well, you got a bonus point for that one.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And I got the last question for you, Alvin. Here we go.
Right.
In 1940s...
Wait, where is it coming from? Is it coming from wacky?
No, this is just a regular one.
Okay.
Is, from the same source, Encyclopedia Trivia, but this is in 1940s Mississippi, a man broke into people's houses at night and cut their hair off while they were sleeping. What did the media call this man? Was it the Scissors Sorcerer, the Cut and Runner, or the Phantom Barber?
Was it the Phantom Barber?
It was the Phantom Barber. All right. Congratulations. With that bonus point, Alvin, you win trivia and you win a T-shirt from the Larry Machine, a Ktown Connects T-shirt.
Awesome.
And the Larry Machine is located at 725 50th Street. They can customize almost anything, gifts, masks, uniforms, you name it. Check out their website at LarryMachine.com.
Wow. Yeah. Congratulations.
I need those questions for my students tonight.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was a great show. Thank you for coming in early and getting this done. And we know you got to hop on a train, so we appreciate it. What a great episode.
So that's the Regimen Barber Collective. They're located at 1345 52nd Street. Come out on Saturday, June 18th to the Juneteenth celebration. And you can find links to that event down in our show notes. And thank you so much, Alvin, for coming in. It's been great.
Just want to say thank you and on behalf of Regimen Barber Collective, because Kenosha didn't need another barbershop, but it needed a collective.
Yes.
And that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Thank you so much for what you're doing for our community.
Yes. Appreciate it so much. So let's take this moment to thank our wonderful sponsors who made this whole show possible.
That includes the Downtown R Saloon,
Union Park Tavern,
CarBox,
Frank's Diner,
Minnie Samuel of Next Home Refined,
Acupuncture and Wellness of Wisconsin,
the Specialty Nacho Queen,
Lucci's Grandview,
LaMacchia Travel,
Faded Barbershop for Men,
Wink Beauty Boutique,
The Lettering Machine,
Gerber's Gift Shop,
and of course, our good friends at Luigi's Pizza Kitchen.
All right, well, it's another great episode.
Yeah, and you know what I think we did on this episode? I really think we did this.
What do we think we did?
We connected Kenosha.
All right, thanks for listening.
Kenosha.